Hi, this is Louis Nunn's evaluation for his A2 Media coursework, the music video Radioactive by Imagine Dragons. Okay, so what I'm first going to show you is a media evaluation PowerPoint, which I've done as part of the evaluation procedure. See, it's done by myself, Louis Nunn. Now, the first slide we have here shows very much the evolution of my magazine advert, which I did originally plan to be the CD cover, but which later transitioned itself and lent itself more to being a magazine ad. Okay, so as you can see by image 1, it's a very basic clip which was taken from an extract of the film in the same location that it was filmed. And as you can see, there's been very little editing work done. I deliberately wanted to stay away from this as much as possible. And very simply, as you can see in the top, I've got the name of the band, Imagine Dragons, and then the name of the album slightly below it. So this is a very basic font. I haven't put much effort into this at all. The only other effect I've added to this is if you look into the far distance, you can see a shadow. So right there. And that was just a quick cut in, which I thought would look quite effective. Okay, moving on, this is my magazine advert number 2. So you can see the filters are slightly darker in this. So you can see, compare the clouds in the sky there to the clouds in the sky there. And I've also added in a proper Imagine Dragons logo, as you can see up here, which appears in all the rest of my magazine adverts. And I've kept the shadow the same, as you can see. But the other thing I've added is this nuclear bomb blast, which I created and put in. As you can see by this, it's very blocky. You can tell that I've just copied the image in. It hasn't been worked in and around so it fits into the clouds. And I've also made you can see a whole darker air to it. If you compare the brightness of, say, this green and brown to that one, it's a lot darker. Okay, and then when we get halfway through my magazine adverts, this is number 3. So you can see I keep the same filters on that I used for number 2, including the logo and the nuclear bomb cloud and the shadow. But the only thing that I've added to make the difference is the title of the CD, which was up here, has now been moved along the footpath and the font has been expanded a little bit and the colour has been changed so it goes more in time and looks like it fits on the path itself. Okay, I then moved on to magazine number 4, which was very much, I realised that the heavy use of filters took away a lot of the effects that the natural photo originally had. So by taking the filter away, I maintain the text at the very bottom and also the logo as well as the shadow and the cloud. But as you can see, the cloud is also a lot more worked in to the pre-existing clouds that were already in the photo. I think this looks very good and effective because you can see the transition of what it looked like and now it looks like it could belong there. Okay, then my penultimate magazine advert, number 5, has again a few minor changes to it. Most noticeably this up here, a little review by NME, so it's the must-have album, and 4 stars as well. And also the other main text change is down here, where it says out 12/12/12. So that gave it a release date, which I thought would look quite good. The filters, as you can see, remain the same. I haven't gone back to using a heavy filter. And yeah. Now the final one, which is my submission piece, number 6, which is my final magazine advert, again has many elements incorporated from number 5, but there are 3 major differences. Now firstly, the shadows, which have been pretty much the same throughout 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, have now been changed in number 6 so that you can clearly see 2 individuals, which keeps in keeping with the theme of my video. And they've been made a lot bigger, so you can tell that they are 2 males, or humans at least. And again, kept the atom cloud in there, the logo and the review, but the text, which has been using text wrap, has been changed, as well as its colour, which has now been changed to a white. It has been changed so it loops around the path, so it says when the day comes, which has been on all the other pieces of work. But now it's whiter, so it's a lot clearer for the individual to see. and it also loops around the path, which I think looks much better than just having it put in a straight line. And finally, the last change I made was the release date, which I've changed the last 12 to 13, and I put it a lot more at the bottom of the magazine advert, because I want to make sure that once people have looked at that, they can then find out exactly where it's out and it's very clear for them. So yeah, what I'm moving on to now is my CD cover and spine and the evolution of that. So if you want to look down to your bottom left, this was the original one that I uploaded, and it was I used a digipack template from the internet, and I picked 6 images which are black and white still clips from my existing video, and I've put them in an order. So as you can see here, we've got somebody doing a backflip, another backflip, side flip, a vault, which is one of the more iconic scenes in the video, a reversing flip, and a final embrace at the end. Okay, now this was very simple. There are no titles, no track listings or anything put in at all, which I think almost looks better, but this was a first draft. The most important thing was with my second one, see up here, where although the images are the same, there is now text which explains a lot more of what it is. So what you can see is that the top 3, they are the exact same, nothing's been changed, but the bottom 3 are the most important ones, because as you can see with that one there, it's a bit small to see, but that is all the CD information that is on the back of the actual CD for the artists. And in the middle one here we have a track list, which is again taken from the actual album that the band released, and we've also added in a little barcode there, but I'll get back to that later. And finally the front cover, we've added in the text again, the name Imagine Dragons, in a similar font to my magazine advert, so there's sort of degree of so there is a degree of similarities between the two pieces. Okay, so you can see here the Imagine Dragons is sort of along the outline of the main character vaulting, and that the text, like it is on the magazine, is white, quite a sloppy sort of font, but is just sprawled at the bottom, which I think was very effective for what I was trying to convey. Right, now finally we move on to the final submission piece, which is number 3 here, and that has got 3 the same. Those 2, nothing has been changed, apart from, as I say, I'll go back to the barcode, it's been made a little bit smaller and also has been moved into the centre a bit more. So whereas if you look at this one, it's exactly on the edge of it, whereas at this one there's a little barrier around it, so you can see it's been put on the image and is not like branching into the image itself, which I think makes it look better and a lot more professional overall. Finally, just some little changes. The Imagine Dragons logo has been moved. I'm not sure if you can see it on that, but it's been moved so it's now completely inside the individual's outline. So again, that's the whole shadow effect I wanted to go for, and that is apparent in the magazine ad. So yeah, that is my CD cover. Alright, there were also 4 questions that we had to answer. First one, in what ways does my media product use, develop or challenge the forms and conventions of real media products? Well, the video that the extracts are from Macklemore's song, Can't Hold Us, and the 2 still scenes that I'm going to compare is this one here, which as you can read, as you can see, it's a man with a flag on a beach, and the one that I'm comparing it to is my lower scene here, which is, if you remember back to my CD cover, is the front cover of that, the outline of the main character vaulting over, which I think looks very effective. And the second one is a widescreen panning shot, which is used on this ship here in the Macklemore video, and which I've used here in my final running scene of my own music video. Now, I believe that my video does challenge some genetic conventions, but it does have to conform to several of the main conventions that other real media product starters. Right, the second question, in what ways does your media products use, develop or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? You can see I want to challenge the convention of normal videos, however I need to keep a professional air about this so that my work would be easily recognisable to the person. Now, I made heavy use of special effects, which I deliberately did to make it more interesting and engaging to the audience. Now, I wanted to establish a strong artist profile not only for the band Imagine Dragons, but for myself as a music video director. Now, when I was doing my research into other videos of similar genres, I revealed that the majority of them focused on iconic shots and engaging and compelling narratives. Now, I believe my video does challenge some genetic conventions, but it does conform in a big way, because I didn't want to sort of change it up too much from what the public expected. Alright, how effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary texts? Well, by combining my main task, the music video, which has a link on my blog too, and the digipack that I then made, which is sort of what I'm showing you now, I believe that my overall product was very professional looking and promoted my work very well. Well, the digipack that I keep going on about consists of a CD cover, which you've already seen, and the A4 magazine promotion, which again you've seen at the start of this presentation. Now, I mentioned black and white a little while ago, but the reason that I chose this was because I wanted a contrast between the natural colours used in my magazine advert and the CD, so you could tell there was a definitive difference between the two. And in conclusion, I believe that the combination, they both work well together, but they do convey a similar tone and subtext while being in themselves unique. Alright, then I've used a range of media technologies to help in the construction and planning. I've been using WordPress, the main site, which I'll include a link to, where you can look at all of this, including the stages of evolution of all my work. The video editing software, which was mostly Final Cut, which was what I used to get my video at such professional quality. And I just think that it's just made it so much easier to use, especially with my knowledge of it that I gained during my AS. Okay, and then again it mentions that Photoshop was heavily used, which I did use in my main presentation, and I also used the website SurveyMonkey, which allowed me to make an online free survey, which I'll get to in a minute, but allowed people to watch it and then get back to me in their own time, so I wasn't forcing them to do it when they didn't want to. Alright, what have I learned from the audience feedback? Well, it was an online questionnaire that I sent out to 20 people, but I only got 15 responses. All the feedback was positive, but I was quite happy for them to suggest improvements, and quite a few of the comments were really good that if I had more time I would take on board and definitely change. Okay, so finally we come to my survey feedback. Now, the bar charts here show, pie charts, show that there's different transitions between the two. So as you can see, this one here showed the majority of people that enjoyed the video. This one here showed the people that would recommend it to other people. And this one was about the special effects, which I found was very interesting, as half of the people said it made it look good, and a quarter said it didn't help it at all, it made it look worse, and that the other half were indifferent or they couldn't really tell. Now finally the comments up here, which are a few. So you see here using different locations, more styles, different formatting techniques, and a larger variety of moves, alternate videos. All very good constructive feedback that if I had more time I would definitely make the effort to go back and make these crucial changes. Okay, that's the end of my presentation. Just want to link to you quickly my WordPress blog, which again I'll include a link to. And this really has got everything down that if you want to go back to anything to refer to, you can use it. So see, I've got my the full questions written up in full, my evaluations, my tweets to the band asking to use their music, changes to the CD cover, the album poster, and then again a closer up picture of the CD covers and the evolution of it. Here you see here my little spine that I've done, again keeping similar text so it all fits in, it all flows. And then different versions of my CD cover, analysis of my music video, comparisons of the first two, which is again all available on my blog. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this, and yeah, make sure you check out my blog for more. Thank you.